Hey, this is the Ask Stan show, Thursday at 12 noon. Today is Thursday, July the 23rd, and here we are on time at 12 noon for the Ask Stan show. Let me go over a couple things. What's coming up? What's coming up is July the 30th, which is next Thursday at 6 p.m. I'm holding one of my webinars, my general estate planning and asset protection type seminar titled Wills, Trusts, and the Nursing Home. That's a week from today, Thursday the 30th at 6 p.m. If you're interested in that, call my office or email me or go to my Facebook page right here and tell us you want the link. We'll send it to you, and you just sit down, get some popcorn, get a Coke, and watch it. All right, so that's coming up. I got another one coming up later in the month in August. I think it's let's see, when is that? I believe it's 2 weeks. Yeah. That one's coming up on the 20. No, not 27th. Okay, that's on the 12th, the 13th, Thursday the 13th, so 2 weeks later. Sorry about that. Probably should have had that prepared. So yeah, I'm going to do one on this Thursday, or next Thursday coming up on the 30th, and then again on the 13th of August, we're going to do it again. And possibly on the 27th of August, we're going to do live. With the option to attend live. You may elect to watch it online and streaming, but it's going to have the option to do live. So anyway, all right, let's talk about what we're going to talk about today. I want to talk about what we call crisis planning. Now, some of you have heard me talk about, one of the things we do trust plans, we do planning for folks, guardianship, assets, and asset protection. One of the forms of asset protection that we do is what I call Medicaid planning. Well, Medicaid planning is also kind of a general term because it encompasses two kinds of planning. One I call pre-planning, which is when you're healthy. You can never be too young to do that, in my opinion, but most folks start thinking about it around age 55 to 65, and they start thinking, well, I might want to protect my assets, from long-term care, but they're healthy at the time. We're not knocking on the door of the nursing home. So, now that's a good time to do it, and, if you ask me, the preference is that's the time to do it, because we can protect everything you own that way. But the other one, and I'm not going to talk about that one today, but the other one is what we call crisis planning. Now, crisis is when you are already in a facility or the nursing home, or you're heading there soon. I'm not beating up on you if you don't do the pre-planning, because crisis can happen at any time. I mean, you can have a stroke, and today and tomorrow you require some kind of long-term care. So, we never know what's going to happen. If you get somebody Alzheimer's and you can see it coming, there's less of an excuse for not doing, but hey, that's just the way life is. So I'm going to talk about crisis planning. So we understand crisis is when you come to see me and somebody's already in the home or heading there real soon, okay? So big difference is when you're in pre-planning, you don't have a nursing home bill, right? You don't have a cost there. When you come to see me and say, hey, mom's in the nursing home, we got to do something. Well, she's already there. She's already faced with a monthly expense of the long-term care, right? So a couple of things. One, how can we protect assets? We need to do it quickly because, if it takes us 1 or 2 months to do it, which it kind of does, we're looking at 1 or 2 months of nursing home costs. So time is a concern. But I want to go over and let people know that even though there's the two types of planning, we can still do a lot in crisis planning. It's just a different kind of planning is all the thing that really is important. It's not the same as there's some things that are the same, but it's sort of a different mindset. But we can still salvage a lot of assets. And I'm going to go over a couple of things I see people ask me that are not true or myths, okay? And one of them is, it's common belief that, hey, it's too late to do planning. Well, hey, it's never too late to do planning, even if it's crisis. So don't blow that off. Don't think, well, she's already in a nursing home, so I guess they're just going to take everything. Don't have that approach, because what the facility will tell you is that you need to spend down all your assets first. before you can actually apply and qualify for Medicaid benefits. That's not true. As a matter of fact, that's exactly what we don't want to do. And keep in mind, the nursing home, although great folks and they give great care, from the financial standpoint, they're the ones that stand to gain the most from you spending down and then applying. Because, let's face it, they're a business like anything else. They got people that work for them, and they've got to have money to pay the people. Nobody does that for free. But that's their, that's where they stand to gain. That's their interest. A little self-serving, and I get that because they want to get paid. So that's the difference between qualifying for Medicaid and planning for Medicaid. Them qualifying is just that they'll get you qualified, but they won't do any asset protection or anything for you. They'll just spend till you don't have anything left to spend anymore. Then you'll qualify, and Medicaid will pay for it. Now you've spent down and you've preserved or protected nothing. What we'll do is you come to us, we'll protect the assets, we'll juggle them around so that they put them in the uncountable exempt column and not the countable or allowable resource column, and we'll get you qualified for Medicaid and still own a ton of property. That's the big difference. So really, the folks at the nursing home, they'll take great care of you, I'm sure, and that's where their expertise is. But their expertise is not in giving legal advice on how to asset protect. So if somebody tells you that, it's not necessarily true. You can come see me and we'll talk about it. I am qualified. One thing is that sometimes I hear people say this, and I'm not saying all nursing homes, and this all comes from people that have been there and they tell me the nursing home says they will help qualify you or do the Medicaid application process at no cost or at little cost. Well, I think that's kind of false because what they really do is they require you to spend down, pay privately, until you can't pay privately anymore. Then they help you qualify for Medicaid. So let me ask you, if you spend down tens of thousands of dollars to get to the point where you can't privately pay anymore, and then they do the application for you, is that doing it for free or for little cost? I don't see it that way, okay? Why not do it now and protect some of those assets and completely bypass that process? So when they say they're going to do it for free, you got to look a little behind the scenes. It's not free at all. Okay, the next one I have is a lot of people say, I'll never qualify for Medicaid because I own too much. Well, how are you going to make that informed decision unless you come to somebody who's qualified to deal with this like me? When I say qualified, I'm talking about the Medicaid laws here at TennCare. It's a complicated set of laws. I feel pretty comfortable in how I understand them and how we can plan about it. So I can give you good advice of what you can do and what you can't do. So people say, well, I have too much. Really all you need to do is to qualify is you got to earn less than what the average cost of nursing home around here. So your income has to be below like $7,000 or $8,000 a month, which most people in retirement don't have that kind of income. So and we can, if you have a home, real estate, we have certain exempt statuses we can qualify for. So just because you don't think you own too much, because that's exactly what we do, is help you put your property, what you have, into the where Medicaid allows you to put it, where it's not considered an available resource, so that you can keep it. So we don't want to spend down till we have nothing and then qualify. There's no planning there. Okay, there's nothing that resembles any kind of intelligent planning there. That's sort of a wait and see approach, and don't recommend it at all. So come see me. We'll talk about what we're going to do, and like I tell people, you'll be amazed at what I can accomplish if you want to come in here and do my property protection checklist. Okay, the next one, people think planning requires that we hide assets. Okay, hiding is a dirty four-letter word. We don't do any of that because when we do Medicaid planning or crisis planning, we are required to disclose the exact planning strategy we're doing in the Medicaid application. So we don't hide anything. We're totally above board. We just use the rules and the laws that Medicaid allows us to use. I call it, when you're playing in their sandbox, you got to follow their rules. So it's not Stan Pachowski making up cute ways to hide your assets and save them and just kind of playing up here. No, I'm just following their rules. So how can it be objectionable if we're doing what they allow us to do? So, but you got to know what they are to be able to do it. And it's not hiding assets where everything's above board. I don't do that. Want somebody to do that? I'm sure you can find an attorney somewhere that'll be glad to do that for you for a lot of money. But I don't do it. I play in their sandbox. I use their rules, and that's how we get it done. It's real similar. you know, like it's like doing taxes. I mean, you have an absolute right to hire a CPA to get and save every tax dollar, get every credit, and get every deduction that you can get. And that's what I do. I mean, I love paying. I love being a patriotic American, and I don't mind paying taxes, but I kind of want to pay only what I owe. So I pay people money to find me all the best deductions I can get, and then I'm glad to pay. Well, there's no. This is the same thing. Why, you know, there's no. You have every right to hire, you know, an attorney, a qualified attorney like myself, to maximize, you know, your Medicaid dollars and cheapen that amount. I mean, the goal is to get Medicaid to pay your long-term care. Now, people say, "Well, I pay all my own bills." Well, wait a minute now. Before you jump to that conclusion, take a look at your paycheck that you've been earning for, I don't know, 50 years. How about your wife's paycheck that she's been earning for 50 years? And every paycheck you've ever looked at has got a deduction for Medicaid or TennCare here in Tennessee. But so, you know, don't jump to the conclusion that, hey, if I rack up a bill, I'm obligated to pay it. You have already paid for TennCare, Medicaid help. Why let them take everything to cover the cost of care? It's not necessary. It's not even what's contemplated in the Medicaid law. So don't trip over your pride here a little bit. I get the responsibility in paying bills. I'm that way myself. But I've already paid for my long-term care. So I want to minimize what they're going to come and take later on in the state recovery process. So there can be more to that. If you want to talk to it, by all means, give me a holler, and we'll talk about it. Some people think planning's unnecessary. The nursing home is going to cover everything. Well, that's not true. You do. You know, when the nursing home doesn't cover everything. The biggest thing we cover that they don't. I mean, they may take care of the institutionalized spouse, but there's a big set of rules that was implemented in the Deficit Reduction Act, DRA, in 2006, which are called the spousal impoverishment rules. And what that does is we can shift practically 100% of the assets of a married couple from the institutionalized spouse to the community spouse, which is the healthy spouse that's still at home. Because we want to take care of that spouse. We don't want to impoverish that spouse that's still at home. So we can do a lot. That's where planning really hits where the rubber meets the road, and we can get a lot done. So, you know, if you're unmarried, you know, I can salvage every bit of 70%, 70, maybe as much as 80% of your assets if you're unmarried. So, don't think that planning is not necessary. The nursing home is going to take care of everything, but that's not the case. What else? That's pretty much what I hear, and that's coming up on 13 minutes. I like to keep this down to 10, but those are the things I hear a lot about crisis planning. So, again, pre-planning is always best. I mean, think about it now, get it done. We get past that 5-year, 60-month look back that Medicaid likes to do. We can protect all your property with a little bit of time in a pre-planning scenario. In a crisis planning scenario, if you're a married couple, I can still probably protect 100% of it. If you're single, about 60 to 70% of it. I mean, it just depends. It's all circumstance driven. Maybe not all of it in that situation, but hey, that 60 to 70% is better than losing all of it, right? I mean, if you think it's okay just to let them take it and not come protect it, well, then, I mean, those are the consequences that you're choosing. So, but if you think, hey, I want to protect whatever I can, come see me. See me in a pre-planning scenario or a crisis planning scenario. The takeaway point of this is, if you're in crisis or you have a loved one in crisis, there's still a lot we can do. Don't forget that. Take advantage of it. So give me a call. That's what we do. Again, I've got one coming up that touches on a little bit of this on next Thursday, July the 30th at 6 p.m. If you want to watch it, it's Wills Trust and the Nursing Home. Call the office, go to Facebook, get the link. Let's see, I didn't look to see if there's any posted questions. If there are, I'll answer them privately because I'm out of time. Looks like there may be one or two. So, hey, that's the Ask Stan show on July the 23rd, on time. Hey, we were on time for about the last 5 or 6, so we're really doing good here. Sometimes I get tied up and do this at about 12:30, and I don't like doing that. But hey, again, Stan Perchowski Estate Law. Answer all your estate planning questions. Bring them on. Go ahead and stump me. I dare you. Okay, so we'll see you next week at Thursday at 12 noon. That'll be the day of the seminar. I'll talk about it again then. So, all right, thanks for watching. I'm going to shut down now if I can Thank you, and we'll see you next Thursday.